At 2 in the morning, the room is almost silent. The phone is turned face down on the mattress. The ceiling has become strangely visible in the dark, not because there is anything to see, but because the mind has run out of places to go. No one has shouted. No one has died. No one has walked out the door tonight. Still, the body feels as if something has happened. There is a particular kind of loneliness that does not announce itself as sadness. It arrives as a pressure behind the ribs, a shallow breath, a heaviness in the face, the sense that if you disappeared right now, the world might continue for a disturbing amount of time before anyone noticed. Not forever, not dramatically, just long enough for the thought to become physical. That is the part people rarely talk about. Loneliness is usually described as an emotion, a mood, a private ache, something soft and embarrassing. But the body does not experience deep loneliness as poetry. It experiences it as information. It reads isolation as a signal about survival. Before loneliness becomes a sentence in the mind, it becomes a question in the nervous system. Am I safe here? For most of human history, that question was not philosophical. A human being alone was a human being at risk. Alone meant no one watching the dark while you slept. No one sharing food when hunting failed. No one helping when fever came. No one hearing you when something approached. No one carrying the child if your body gave out. To be outside the group was not merely painful, it was biologically dangerous. Modern life has made this harder to see. A person can live inside a city of 10 million people and still feel in the oldest part of the body, unheld. They can receive messages all day, answer emails, sit in meetings, pass strangers in elevators, buy coffee from someone who says their name, and still return to a room where the nervous system does not feel socially protected. The body does not count contacts. It looks for safety. This is why loneliness is not the same as being alone. Solitude can restore a person. It can give shape back to thought. It can make the mind less crowded. Many people need to be alone to feel real. Loneliness is different. Loneliness is not the absence of noise. It is the absence of felt belonging. It is the body's suspicions that no one is truly coming if the floor disappears beneath you. John Cacioppo and Louise Hawkley helped shape the modern science of this idea through the concept of perceived social isolation. The word perceived matters. It does not mean imagined. It means experienced by the nervous system. The danger lies not only in how many people surround you, but in whether your body believes you are held inside a reliable human network. That belief can be missing in a crowded office. It can be missing in a marriage. It can be missing inside a family dinner where everyone knows the right topics and no one knows the truth. It can be missing while hundreds of names glow inside a phone. A person can be socially visible and biologically alone. This is where the science becomes darker than the cliché. Loneliness does not simply make people feel bad. It can change how the body reads reality. The lonely brain begins to scan the world differently. It becomes more alert to threat, especially social threat. A neutral face can feel cold. A slow reply can feel like rejection. A quiet room can feel like evidence. A small exclusion can confirm an entire philosophy of being unwanted. The lonely person is often told they are too sensitive. But sensitivity is not the whole story. A body that believes it has been separated from protection has reason to become vigilant. It watches, it predicts, it prepares. It looks for signs that the group is closing its doors. The tragedy is that this vigilance can make the world appear more hostile than it is, which then makes withdrawal feel more necessary. Loneliness becomes a loop. The person feels unsafe, so they become watchful. Because they are watchful, they detect threat more quickly. Because they detect threat more quickly, they protect themselves. Because they protect themselves, others may feel distance. Because others feel distance, the lonely person receives less warmth. Then the body says, "See, I was right." This is not weakness. It is an ancient survival program misfiring inside a modern life. Imagine someone lying in bed after a day full of small, almost connections. A coworker smiled, but did not ask anything real. A friend sent a meme, but not a question. A parent called, but only talked about logistics. A meeting included their face, but not their presence. Nothing was cruel enough to complain about. Nothing was warm enough to feed on. The day contained people, but almost no proof of belonging. At night, the body adds it up. The phone stays silent. The walls feel closer. The mind begins replaying scenes from the day, not like memory, but like investigation. Was that pause meaningful? Did they seem annoyed? Why did no one ask? Why did I say that? Why did I not say more? The brain becomes a detective searching for the shape of rejection in ordinary dust. This is one reason loneliness is exhausting. It makes the world socially expensive. Every interaction costs more. Every ambiguous signal demands interpretation. Every attempt to reach out carries the possibility of confirmation that you are unwanted. Eventually, isolation can feel safer than contact, even though isolation is the thing slowly injuring the system. The biology follows the story the body believes. One of the clearest pathways is stress. The stress system does not require a visible enemy. It does not need a predator outside the cave. It can respond to social uncertainty, rejection, evaluation, exclusion, and the sense of being unsupported. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, rises and falls throughout the day as part of normal physiology. But chronic social threat can alter the rhythm of that system. The lonely body may wake as if already preparing for defense. This does not always feel like panic. That is important. Many people imagine stress as something dramatic, like a racing heart or a trembling hand. But loneliness often creates a quieter stress, a background readiness, a low electrical hum. The person may appear calm, functional, even productive. They answer messages, they make breakfast, they do the work. But somewhere beneath ordinary behavior, the body keeps asking whether it is alone in danger. Social evaluative threat makes this worse. Human beings are intensely sensitive to how others see them because being accepted once had survival value. To be judged, excluded, humiliated, or ignored was not just unpleasant. It could threaten access to protection. The lonely mind can begin to live under an imagined gaze, preparing to be rejected before anyone speaks. This is why loneliness can make people both hungry for contact and afraid of it. The same body that longs to be held also prepares to be hurt. The same person who wants a message may dread seeing one. The same nervous system that needs closeness may treat closeness as a test it expects to fail. There is nothing poetic about that. It is cruelly efficient. Then comes sleep. A healthy human body should disappear into sleep with some confidence that the world can be left unattended for a few hours. Sleep is an act of trust. The eyes close. The muscles soften. The mind releases control. For an animal alone in the open, deep sleep is a risk. For a human being held by a group, sleep becomes safer because the group extends the nervous system beyond the individual body. Loneliness weakens that trust. Research has linked loneliness with fragmented sleep, the kind of sleep that may last for hours but does not fully restore. The person may be in bed long enough. They may even believe they slept. But the night keeps breaking. The body rises toward wakefulness again and again, as if some part of it refuses to go off duty. Picture the apartment at 3:17 in the morning. The refrigerator makes a small click. A car passes outside. The person turns over, eyes still closed, but the mind returns like a guard called back to the gate. There is no emergency. There is no intruder. Still, the body does not trust the dark enough to sink completely. This is loneliness becoming architecture inside sleep. The cruel part is that poor sleep then deepens loneliness. A fragmented night makes the next day harder. The face becomes flatter. The voice becomes duller. The mind becomes more defensive. Social effort becomes heavier. A tired person has less capacity to interpret others generously. They withdraw, seem colder, feel more easily wounded, and may receive less warmth in return. Again, the loop tightens. The body says, "I am alone, so I must stay alert." The alertness ruins rest. The lack of rest makes connection harder. The loss of connection confirms the alarm. This is how a feeling becomes a biological trap. But the most unsettling research goes deeper than stress and sleep. It reaches into the immune system. Steve Cole and other researchers have studied how social experience can relate to patterns of gene expression in immune cells. One pattern, often discussed under the conserved transcriptional response to adversity, involves increased activity in genes linked to inflammation and decreased activity in genes involved in certain antiviral responses. In plain language, the lonely body may begin to prepare for one kind of threat more than another. This makes a strange evolutionary sense. If you were alone in a hostile environment, physical injury might be more likely. A bite, a wound, an attack. Inflammation helps the body respond to injury and bacterial infection. So, the body prepares for tissue damage. But if you are socially connected, close contact with others may increase exposure to viruses, making antiviral defense especially important. The immune system appears to listen to social conditions as clues about the world outside the skin. This is the coldest part. Loneliness can reach the level where immune cells behave as if the social world has changed the physical battlefield. The person does not simply think, "I am alone." Their biology may begin to act as if aloneness predicts danger. The defense system shifts. Inflammatory signals rise. Certain antiviral responses may be dampened. The body does not wait for philosophy. It translates isolation into preparation. This does not mean one lonely night rewrites the body. The danger is chronicity, repetition, the same room, the same silence, the same meals eaten without being witnessed, the same weeks without touch, the same feeling that every crisis would have to be survived privately. Biology responds to patterns. The body learns the climate. Inflammation is not evil. It is necessary. Without inflammation, wounds would not heal. Infections would spread. The immune system would fail to defend the body. But when inflammatory activity becomes chronic, low-grade, and poorly regulated, it can contribute to many forms of illness. The fire that protects in one moment can begin to damage when it never fully goes out. Loneliness can become one of the conditions that keeps the fire lit. Hawkley and Cacioppo described how perceived isolation may connect to inflammatory disease risk, partly through altered stress biology and reduced sensitivity to glucocorticoid signals. Glucocorticoids normally help regulate inflammation. But under chronic stress, immune cells may become less responsive to those signals. The body sends the message to calm the fire, and the cells do not hear it as clearly. This image matters. A lonely body is not merely sad in a quiet room. It may become a body where the signal to defend grows stronger than the signal to stand down. It may carry a small interior flame of preparation, not because danger is present, but because belonging is absent. That flame has consequences. Cardiovascular research adds another layer. Loneliness has been associated with higher blood pressure over time, not as a single dramatic event, not as the heart breaking in a cinematic moment, more like pressure accumulating through repeated states of vigilance, poor sleep, stress chemistry, inflammation, and behavioral changes. The body keeps score in systems the person cannot see. The heart does not care whether loneliness is embarrassing to admit. It only receives the physiology. This is why the phrase "loneliness is killing you" sounds sensational until you understand the mechanism. It is not killing like a knife. It is killing like weather. Slowly, repeatedly, through stress response, sleep disruption, immune changes, inflammation, blood pressure, health behaviors, reduced resilience, and the absence of people who notice when something is wrong. Social connection protects life in many ways. Some are emotional, some are practical. Someone reminds you to go to the doctor. Someone notices your cough has lasted too long. Someone makes food when grief ruins appetite. Someone interrupts a spiral. Someone touches your shoulder and tells your nervous system, without language, that the world has not fully abandoned you. Connection is not just company, it is regulation. This is the idea behind social baseline theory. The human brain may assume the presence of other people as part of its baseline for managing effort and threat. When support is available, the world costs less metabolically and psychologically. A hill can look less steep when a trusted person stands nearby. A burden can literally feel lighter when the nervous system does not have to carry the whole environment alone. Modern culture often insults this need. It tells people to be independent, self-contained, unbothered, emotionally low maintenance. It praises the person who needs no one, replies to pain with discipline, and turns isolation into an aesthetic. But the body is older than the ideology. It knows that a single organism is more vulnerable than a bonded organism. The body does not admire your independence when it cannot find safety. This is where loneliness becomes existential. It reveals something modern people do not want to admit. The self is not sealed. We are not just minds inside private skulls. We are regulated by faces, voices, routines, meals, greetings, shared rooms, familiar footsteps, and the knowledge that someone would notice if we did not return. A life can look successful from the outside and still fail to provide that knowledge. The apartment is clean. The calendar is full. The inbox is active. The face appears in video calls. The body is fed. The bills are paid. Yet no one sees the person in the way the nervous system needs to be seen. No one touches the deeper alarm. No one stands close enough to make the body believe it belongs to a living human field. This is why loneliness can coexist with achievement. A promotion does not hold you at night. A full schedule does not watch your breathing when you are sick. Recognition from strangers does not always become safety in the body. Applause does not automatically become attachment. Visibility does not equal being held. A person can be known by thousands and still not be known by anyone who would come. That sentence is not melodrama. It is biology wearing social clothing. Julianne Holt-Lunstad's work on social relationships and mortality made the public take this more seriously. Large analyses have associated loneliness, social isolation, and living alone with increased risk of early death. The numbers are often repeated because they shock people, but the deeper point is not the exact percentage. The deeper point is that social disconnection belongs in the same conversation as other major health risks. Loneliness is not a mood floating above the body. It is a condition the body lives through. Still, we should be careful. Science does not say that every lonely person is doomed, or that one season of isolation ruins the body, or that friendship works like medicine in a simple mechanical way. Human lives are more complicated than that. Personality, poverty, trauma, disability, illness, culture, age, grief, caregiving, discrimination, and environment all shape the experience. Loneliness is not one thing, and it does not touch every body in the same way. But the pattern is strong enough to disturb the old assumption. We cannot keep treating loneliness as merely emotional discomfort. We cannot keep acting as if connection is decoration, something pleasant but optional after the real biological needs are met. For humans, connection is one of the biological needs. The tragedy is that lonely people often know they need connection, but connection becomes harder precisely because they are lonely. The body that needs warmth begins to expect rejection. The person who needs closeness becomes more guarded. Their face may become less open. Their messages may become shorter. Their interpretations may become harsher. They may cancel plans because anticipation feels unbearable, then feel abandoned when no one insists. Loneliness teaches the body to protect itself from the medicine it needs. This is why advice often fails. Telling a lonely person to just reach out can sound simple from the outside. But reaching out requires believing, even slightly, that the world may answer without humiliation. It requires enough energy to risk disappointment. It requires enough trust to reveal need. Chronic loneliness weakens those very capacities. The lonely person may not only lack people, they may lack evidence that reaching toward people is safe. So the problem becomes deeper than social scheduling. It becomes a crisis of trust between the body and the world. The body asks for proof, not slogans, not abstract encouragement. Proof. A voice that returns, a pattern that holds, a person who shows up more than once, a room where the face does not need to perform, a relationship where absence is not immediately interpreted as abandonment. Belonging is built from repeated evidence. Modern life offers many signals that imitate connection without always satisfying the nervous system. A notification can light the phone without making the body feel held. A like can confirm visibility without offering protection. A group chat can move quickly while no one asks the question that matters. A person can spend an entire day in communication and still not receive one moment of real co-regulation. This may be one reason contemporary loneliness feels so strange. It does not always look like isolation. It can look like constant contact. It can look like talking to many people and feeling touched by none of them. It can look like being always reachable and never deeply reached. The nervous system is not fooled by every signal. It wants something older, a familiar presence, a trusted witness, a shared silence that does not feel empty, a hand on the shoulder, a meal where the body can stop guarding, a conversation where the person is not performing their acceptability, a sense that if the night became dangerous, someone would know before morning. This is not sentimentality. It is the social body remembering what kept it alive. And because this need is so deep, shame grows around it. People feel ashamed of loneliness because loneliness exposes dependence. It shows that the self is not enough for itself. It reveals the lie in the fantasy of complete autonomy. To say I am lonely is not only to say I want company. It is to say my body is asking for a world in which I matter to someone in a practical, embodied, reliable way. That is a terrifying thing to admit. So people disguise loneliness. They call it being busy. They call it standards. They call it independence. They call it peace. They call it not liking people. They call it focusing on themselves. Sometimes those things are true. Sometimes solitude is chosen, healthy, and needed. But sometimes the language of independence becomes a beautiful cover for a body that has stopped expecting to be met. The danger is that the body still pays the cost, even when the ego has found a stylish explanation. A person can become proud of not needing anyone while their sleep breaks apart. A person can call themselves hard to impress while their nervous system reads warmth as suspicious. A person can say they are better alone while their immune system keeps the small fire burning. The body does not always believe the story the personality tells. This is why loneliness can change character. It can make a person more irritable, more suspicious, more self-focused, less generous, less playful. Not because loneliness reveals their true nature, but because chronic defense narrows the organism. When the body lives in scarcity, it scans for threat before beauty. It saves energy, it withdraws, it stops expecting the world to be kind. Over time, this can become mistaken for identity. I am just cold. I am just introverted. I am just difficult. I am just not a people person. Maybe. Or maybe a body adapted to isolation has started to call the adaptation a self. This is one of the saddest possibilities. Some people are not fundamentally unreachable. They are defended. Their biology learned that reaching was expensive. Their mind learned that hope was dangerous. Their body learned to sleep lightly, trust slowly, and expect very little. What looks like personality may be a history of unmet belonging. The scientific story does not remove responsibility. It does not mean loneliness excuses cruelty, bitterness, withdrawal, or harm. But it adds compassion without making the problem soft. A lonely person may be difficult because the organism is fighting a quiet war. The war may be invisible, but the blood chemistry knows it. The sleep knows it. The immune system knows it. The heart knows it. The body believes what life has repeated. This is why healing loneliness cannot be reduced to inspirational language. The body needs new repetitions. It needs repeated signals of safety. It needs ordinary contact that does not vanish. It needs a rhythm of being expected somewhere. It needs low-pressure proximity, shared tasks, familiar voices, and relationships that survive small awkwardness. It needs to learn, slowly, that the world contains some people who do not disappear the moment need becomes visible. But this video is not here to offer a clean solution. That would be too easy and perhaps dishonest. Loneliness is not only an individual problem. It is built into architecture, work, migration, digital life, economic pressure, family breakdown, aging, illness, shame, and a culture that often replaces belonging with performance. A person can try to connect and still find a world designed for transaction more than attachment. The crisis is not just that some people feel lonely. The crisis is that many bodies may be living as if they have been left outside the circle. Return to the room at 2 in the morning. The phone is still face down. The city outside contains countless windows, countless rooms, countless people lying awake inside separate boxes of light and dark. Some are surrounded by contacts. Some are married. Some have families. Some have no one. But the body does not ask how many people exist nearby. It asks a more ancient question. If something happens to me, who will come? That question lives beneath much of what we call mood. It lives beneath irritability, exhaustion, compulsive scrolling, numbness, suspicion, craving, avoidance, and the strange ache that appears after another day of being seen by many people and held by none. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is just the body waiting for proof that it belongs somewhere. Maybe that is why loneliness hurts in such a primitive way. It does not only say, "I am sad." It says, "I may be unsafe." It says, "I may have to carry the entire world with one nervous system." It says, "If I disappear, the tribe may not notice soon enough." It says, "Stay alert. Sleep lightly. Trust carefully. Prepare for injury. Keep the fire burning." And if that message repeats long enough, the body may begin to obey it as truth. This is the dark biology of loneliness. A feeling becomes a forecast. A forecast becomes a defense. A defense becomes a way of living. Then the person begins to look at the world through the eyes of someone already half exiled from it. Perhaps loneliness does not kill by making people want to die. Perhaps it kills more quietly, by convincing the body that the world has already begun to leave.